you know, he's not the playmaker that Twin was, which is weird because he has more of a carry-oriented jungle history, but we'll see how Intruder fares.
Yeah, let's see if Intruder can do just that. As we head into game, or Champions Select for game number 2 between LGD and Newbee. Ezreal and Nireli are going to be taken off the table by LGD as Rumble and Karma are still the 2 bans that will come out from Newbee. So probably going to be a Ryze Vladimir ban here. So LGD actually opt to ban Elise instead, so Ryze or Vladimir will be left open this game.
Yep, we'll get one of those power picks. I assume that Vladimir will be the final ban, as I feel like there's a bit more options in dealing with Ryze. Although we'll see if maybe an Anivia pick comes out.
Still waiting for Newbee to see what they're going to pick up as their final ban here. Taking some time to think that they go for the Rek'Sai, which means both Vladimir and Ryze are left available. Ryze not going to be taken by LGD, instead they go for the Vladimir pick.
So the reason why I thought that it would be one or the other as opposed to leaving both open is we saw the hesitancy last game for Newbee to play Ryze. In fact, they actually banned it on blue side. Maybe feeling a bit more confident that since the priority pick of the Vladimir has already shown itself, obviously still can be a flex pick between the top and mid lane position. But a bit more confidence to say, okay, we know that it's probably against the Vladimir. We're okay to take Ryze in this scenario.
To see who on the side of Newbee is going to be playing the Ryze here today. It should be going to the mid lane, but they haven't played Ryze this split. So could potentially be put up into the top lane because, you know, Marin, he played that twice for LGD. Hasn't been played by Punished yet.
And the reason why is because this Trundle can still slot into the support position. So technically, they haven't really shown their hand. I still think that it's probably going to be a Ryze mid as well as a Trundle top.
Most likely. V did play Trundle last game. Had a good performance from the champion too. Have to see what he does this game, as those are the 2 lock-ins coming up from Newbee. LG are looking for their next few picks. Rek'Sai and Elise were taken off the table, so a couple of junglers were being banned out.
Not willing to show their hand just yet. It's funny too, the ban on Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai was non-existent.
In the last game.
Wasn't banned either, so
Snuck through Champions Select.
Both players had the potential. It just goes to talk about where the power point for these teams are. It's not through their jungle.
As Sivir and Braum are going to be the 2 lock-ins coming in for LGD as their bottom lane duo.
Continuing to hide their hands, see what Swift is going to pick up. I don't mind Swift on Rek'Sai, but I think he needs a bit more of a... It's like the difference between Rek'Sai and Elise. Both of them can be more gank-oriented junglers, but I feel like Elise just fits a bit better. Although Swift is a phenomenal Rek'Sai.
He still hasn't shown us what champion he's going to be playing in the jungle, unless for some reason they take Trundle in there. It's highly unlikely. It's a couple of seasons old now.
With Ezreal on the bin bench, Sivir being picked up, should force Happy into this Jhin pickup. Again, taking the more utility-oriented role.
As that's going to get locked in, so Happy will be playing Jhin as the AD carry of choice for Newbee. Reversal of roles coming out between the 2 teams. This time's going to be Imp that takes the Sivir, and Graves is going to see some play on Summon the Swift again, as he's going to be the jungler of choice for Swift.
Another carry-oriented jungler coming out for Swift. Now, reminder, he did take Hecarim last game and chose to itemize into a first Trinity Force before looking for armor stats, Fish.
Thank goodness he completed the Cinderhulk first, though.
He's got to get the bonus off the health crystal in Phage.
It's not that much, but yeah.
That's the only selling point I can get there. We did see Intruder hover the Kha'Zix initially. The big team playing Kha'Zix in the LPL right now is still primarily EDG, but they have a very hard carry jungler in Clearlove in his current form. Nice things that Kha'Zix will be opening up from the jungle position is his monster objective control. Obviously getting that isolation damage.
Intruder's first match in the LPL will be on this Kha'Zix, as it does get locked in. Lissandra is their pickup of choice.
This is one of my favorite combos, the Lissandra and Kha'Zix. And the reason why is when Kha'Zix was...
Kha'Zix.
I can't do it anymore. When Kha'Zix was in big priority, throw your mind back a couple of seasons, Fish. He used to work well with Lissandra because through the duration of her Frozen Tomb, Kha'Zix can 100-0 an enemy champion, so like Graves has one of those high burst junglers to make the most of that hard CC.
Well, they're really hiding this pick here because Marin has not played Kha'Zix or Vladimir this season. He played a couple of games of Lissandra in Spring Split. So let's see which one he's going to be picking up into the top lane this time round.
I have a feeling it's going to be Vladimir. I would hope so.
I think it's going to be Lissandra.
I think it's going to be Lissandra too.
Well, let's see what Newbee decide to pick up next. They're hovering over Maokai here, which means Trundle will be their support champion. They do go for this pick. And it seems like that's going to be their... No, they don't. They're locking Thresh instead, so it's going to be more picking up the Thresh again here on Summoner's Rift. V will be playing Trundle up on the top side of the map.
Jhin and Thresh have been seen together a lot, obviously. Jhin, a very low mobility 80 carry. Thresh offers him a lot of safety. I don't know what you're doing over there, Fish.
I'm casting League of Legends Prosco. As Lissandra is going to be swapped up towards the top side of the map, so Mara will be playing that champion here today. Punish will be taking Vladimir into the mid lane against the Rise coming out from Dade.
Taking a step back from these compositions, you have so much 5v5. It's the Venn diagram of murder. On the LGD composition, every single one of those champions does damage. Every single one of those champions is kind of like pseudo-tanky, but they don't actually have a true front line. On the other side, you don't exactly have the best hard CC to stop Kha'Zix from going nuts into a backline. You've got effectively the snare from Rise and the death sentence from Thresh. But there's not a lot to stop Intruder if he gets rolling and ahead on this Kha'Zix to just run past everyone and blow up that gen.
Let's see what happens here as we head into the Rift very shortly. Both Vladimir and Rise have been seeing some play here in this match. We'll have to see how they duke it out in the mid lanes. We head up to into Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Newbee and LGD. We're back onto Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between LGD and Newbee. Currently, Newbee lead the series 1-0 after a comeback performance in game number 1.
I feel like LGD have drafted for the 5v5. You know, Newbee, you're going to fight us anyway. It's fine. We'll take our Hemoplague. We'll amplify Sivir's Beyblade Arena. So this is cheeky.
As V is going to have to flash out rather early there. Puts a ward down as well, which immediately gets taken by LGD. It's a 2-for-1 combo. 10 gold plus flash.
Despite the Summoner spell being burned, we can take a moment to look at the Keystone Masteries, and we'll see if it's here for another 20 minutes. It should be noted that different Summoners between gens. Happy is looking for the old school Deathfire touch route, whereas Thunderlords has kind of been the new prevalent norm of most 80 carries in the LPL, including Deft and Imp. I think Mystic as well. But otherwise, everything else looking fairly standard.
Storm Ranger Surge and Rise. We see them, you know, flip back and forth between Shackly Ages and Storm Rangers a couple of times.
I haven't really checked in on Lissandra's Keystones, though. Deathfire Grasp? Or Deathfire Touch, excuse me.
Deathfire Touch, Deathfire Grasp.
The Claw. Has that been the new norm?
LGD, though, are going to send Imp and Puwail down towards the bottom side of the map, so we'll be met with standard lanes coming out from Newbee.
Except a red invade and start from Swift, so a very cheeky early jungle pathing. Could 3-buff potentially Intruder, trying to abuse the new sub. Although he is walking in and looking for the early isolated damage.
Let's see what he can do here, because Graves is not on that side of the map. Like you said, Newbee to go for a very early counter jungle.
No, it looks like instead we're just going to have some vertical jungling and a trading of reds.
Intruder's going to be able to take down Swift's red here with relative ease. Get some good damage on towards it.
Question will be if he's going to then look for a gank up into the top lane as Swift's actually looking in the mid lane.
Yep, looking to try and get a gank on towards Punish. He's forced to use the Sanguine Pool there. Costs a lot of his health, but he's able to escape the gank and get out quite safely.
In response, though, Intruder did see that Swift walked through the lane, has his red buff, and I think he's going to try to steal a camp and possibly set up a trap. Yeah, he's actually standing in the brush right now, waiting for Graves to walk into him. Unfortunately,
though, Swift is on the bottom side of the map, looking to try and take down his blue buff Intruder. He's been intruding into the jungle, but he hasn't found anyone just yet.
Nope, but has managed to take another camp for himself and could look to apply some pressure to Dade, although Dade's in a very safe position currently.
Certainly is. And his Rise as well does have that snare to stop any major aggression coming up. Puts a lot of damage down on towards Punish there.
Otherwise, a fairly clean pathing coming out of Intruder early. Falls back, prioritizes Scuttle Crab, obviously because Marin is so overextended. But now having that safety in the vision allows him to be a bit more aggressive up in this lane and really abuse the melee versus ranged matchup of Lissandra versus Trundle.
Marin's been doing a good job of that so far, pushing him in towards the tower, trying to deny as much CS as possible. He's trying to keep up wherever he possibly can.
And this has pretty much been the bane of LGD's existence, but also what is their greatest weakness is also their greatest strength. Every single one of LGD's lanes will always push. They will always be forward. And before, TBQ, you know, big Lee Sin player, great at counter jungling, would be there for the counter gank. Unfortunately, Amy, you know, not meshing to the team as quickly as needed, wasn't there for the counter ganks. And so LGD, they open themselves up simultaneously all to weaknesses. And they just need a jungler that will either give them the safety by prioritizing the vision on the Scuttle Crabs or be there and available for the counter gank, because they have the superior players.
For now, though, we'll have to see what Intruder's going to bring to the table. Already took down that Scuttle Crab previously, so helping out with some vision. Is this lane not going fantastic for V? He's already been pushed off of it. Has to back off for now.
Yep, definitely can be brutal. Again, range versus melee. Trundle's not going to have a good time until he gets more of his items. In fact, burning a very early teleport to match Marin, so no TPs left up into the top side. Means that if someone goes down, it's going to be incredibly punishing to die here.
Small Scuttle Crab's being taken down here by Intruder. Gets both the top side and bottom side Scuttle.
Pulling a bit of an SOFM by prioritizing them so heavily.
Swift going to get his Raptor Sense popped here as he finds a ward.
But
again,
again,
Pixel Brush.
It's just important that they know that Swift is on the bottom side of the map because it continues to open up Marn to abuse V into the top side of the map. So even though nothing is really happening between these junglers, they're not facing off, the fact that they keep crossing paths, that Intruder is able to keep tabs on Swift, or Swift is seen in the bottom part of the river, just continues to exploit his top lane CS discrepancy. Now 44 to 32.
Well, relatively quiet game between the two teams here. LGD just content with farming. It seems like they're the ones that are pushing out most of their lanes. Picking up small CS deficit up in the top side of the map. And in the bottom side of the map as well. Nothing too significant at the moment.
Smartly though, Imp and PYL did just dodge a gank by Swift. Swift actually walked into the Tribe Rush behind his lanes. Moore was looking for the Lantern gank. So Imp and PYL showing a bit more reservation and caution. But speaking of reservation, it's not happening top.
That's a flash forward. V going to get taken down really quickly there. Intruder's going to help Marin pick up first blood.
So we talked about this, you know, Marin, he's going to be far forward, he's going to be extended, he's going to punish his 1v1 matchup. Amy wasn't there to step up and be underneath him, but Intruder joining that Lissandra, able to lay down significant burst damage and help pick up that first blood.
Well played coming up from LGD as Swift moves in towards LGD's side of the jungle. Going to be trying to take down Krog Camp here.
Could try to make a play underneath this tower, although it would be dangerous. Again, they don't have the targetable hard CC. They're very reliant on Thresh hitting a death sentence if they want to make a play bottom.
He was spotted out as well by a ward entering in towards the jungle. So they know where he is at the moment.
Which means play fizzled out, no response from Newbee.
Still going to try and take down this red buff though. We'll have to see if that is uncontested. But now with Punish on the other side of the map, seems like he'll be able to just trade red buffs again. Trying to dodge the Kha'Zix wherever he is on the map at the moment.
Yep, cooldown to watch. Alongside this Kha'Zix is going to be Marin's ultimate again. It's a little bit over halfway right now. But again, Intruder playing towards that top side of the map, buying time. It's just another frozen tomb into the isolation damage, and V can be killed again. And without his teleport and with a wave on his tower, it'll be incredibly punishing on the EXP and gold he'll miss. Oh, contesting red.
It's Intruder. Teleports over towards that red buff. Swift's going to spot him out. Immediately goes really aggressive towards the Kha'Zix. Gets a smite out just to get some health back, but he's taking so much damage. Swift is looking for the solo kill. He will be able to pick it up in the jungle. Swift takes down Intruder.
Didn't really respect Swift having the ultimate available as well as having Intruder's red buff. So good response from Swift to know he took my red buff last time. He has the perfect timer. He's probably going to go for it again. Very greedy, very overextension. I have his. I'm going to quickly reset my positioning on the map and just straight run to mine and look for the 1v1.
Even does some counter jungle of his own there, as he actually finds Marin in the jungle. Marin tries to slow him down and stop him from getting out of the jungle quite quickly.
But Marin can't afford to go all in on Swift simply because he doesn't have a mid laner available or a jungler. So at worst, it would be a 1v2 scenario if he decided to collapse.
LGD for now, trying to slow things down, it seems. The gold is dead even between the two teams. A very prolonged laning phase between them at the moment. Very standard lanes as well.
Loses a lot of momentum and time, though, for LGD, who are making a play on the top side of the map. Again, they were hold on.
That's a little bit of damage coming out from Dade.
This should fizzle out to nothing. He's got his pool still available to him. But again, Marn was waiting on that cooldown to come back up. Intruder was going to be up into the area. But dying means that they have to delay that play, and Intruder's now trying on the bottom side, and Newbee in the mid.
That's a lot of damage coming out there towards Punish. Has to be very careful. Pops the ultimate. Has to go into Sanguine Pool. Will heal up from the ultimate too. There's Intruder, meanwhile, like you said, trying to take down this blue buff.
It should be a trade 1-for-1, however. Dade does have teleport, but Swift, with his previous invade after he killed Intruder, did lay down deep vision on the blue buff. Unless Dade TPs to it, though, it's going to be just a jungles trading second blues, which is much more punishing to Dade than it is to Punished.
Dade holding his own quite nicely in this mid lane on that rise. Has already picked up his tier, now has the Catalyst too. Vladimir, on the other hand, is going to be picking up his Spirit Visage as a first item, it seems.
Makes sense against the likes of Rise.
Spanish still doing some counter jungling. Lots of vertical jungles coming out from these two teams.
I'm pretty impressed with Intruder so far, though. Other than his...
He's been an Intruder.
Other than his overzealous 1v1, I think both junglers are adapting to each other well. Although a dive topside potentially being set up here. Marn's a bit blind. This is going to be a nasty surprise.
They're sprinting up. He puts the claw down the wrong way. The pillar's going to slow him down. Has to flash really aggressively. As Dade was threatening him there. A little bit of a misplay, but a good gank set up by Newbee.
Yeah, and the biggest issue is, like you said, that claw being used aggressively. But in response, they immediately pull the trigger to look bottom and make use of the wave.
They're going to try and go for a 4-man stack, but there comes the W coming out from Jin, just stopping them there. Here comes Marin, gets hooked up by Moore. Teleports coming to the bottom side of the map. Marin taking a lot of damage. Moore's going to be the first target to go down. Punish is going to try and join them as well. Dade's here too. Kurtzakor going to get popped. Doesn't find Marin with the first shot. Hits Intruder instead. V's going to try to continue the chase. Imp takes a lot of damage. Marin going to go down to the subjugate from V. Dade's into the back lines. PYL trying to do what he can to lock him down. The shield comes up. Lives with a sliver of health, but Martin is going to try and jump around the back. No, it's Swift. Sorry, that's not Martin. As Happy finds a kill. Dade really low, but Punish in the Sanguine Pool pops down the ultimate. A Hemo play will take him down, but it's a double kill going on over towards it, but it's not even going to kill Dade.
Disaster for LGD as Dade walks away with a sliver of health. It does mean also dragon control for Newbee, so what was looking like a great response play from LGD. We lost control of top side. I had to burn my flash. Let's quickly try to abuse bottom because Swift is on the top side of the map. Newbee are able to drag it out long enough that Swift can walk all the way and get involved on the back half of that.
And it's not much of a gold swing, but a huge momentum swing for Newbee there, countering out the plays coming out from LGD. Giving them a bit of breathing room, and an Ocean Dragon on top of that. Next dragon to spawn is going to be another Infernal Dragon, like we saw last game.
Of course, no Infernal Drakes yet in this current game. But the big thing that you hit on was a momentum and a tempo shift. Typically, we don't see Newbee with any momentum or tempo. Typically, they're just the reactionary team, which they were in that case. But
They were reactionary, but...
This, I'm not going to call it a gold lead, because it's actually dead even. But all this extra kill pressure, maybe they'll be a bit more proactive. Lots
of gold on towards Happy down the bottom lane on the Jin, looking towards his Yoma's Ghost Blade as the first item pickup.
Still looking for that big 2-item out power spike on Jin, as well as the 3-item out power spike on Rise. I feel like Newbee, this is pretty much just the bridge that they were looking for, that reactionary play down bottom, and they're just going to continue to sit back and farm and look for that late game with the Jhin and Ryze damage.
I don't think Dade's looking for that right now. He's just looking at Punish, trying to chunk him out wherever he possibly can.
I mean, he almost needs to take those trades when he can because Vladimir's just going to heal it back up.
And things are now a little bit quiet once again. LGD were the proactive team in that engage, but it didn't work out so well for them.
Although they are sending more to roam. Fizzles out again. So they were trying to be proactive, trying to get the support and the jungle involved on the mid lane gank, caught out by Vision. But Swift continuing to apply pressure and deep dive while his LGD continue to go all in bot side.
Going for the back there comes the Dark Passage trying to get Happy to safety. He will get locked down though by Marin's ultimate. He gets shut down too. More is going to be the next target to go down. Tries to get a flay, but Intruder's looking for it. Marin's the one that picks up the kill. And the only thing Newbee would get from this is the Rift Herald.
Where it was punished last game putting LGD on his back, it's Marin this game putting LGD on the back. Proactive play works much better this time around on the bottom side of the map. In response, Rift Herald going down, but now mid lane.
Dade being really aggressive there in the mid lane. Going to get jumped on by PYL, who is running in towards the middle of the park, but Punish not able to get good positioning enough to lock him down for the gank. Dade does escape without using any summoners.
But it will be a tower trade for the Rift Herald. So LGD now sitting with about a 1.5k gold lead. Closing on 2.
And lots of heavy emphasis towards the bottom side of the map here. More tried to do his best to save Happy down that bottom lane. Just wasn't enough. Marin too fast for him.
And this is what we were talking about last game with kind of the response times and how Sivir adjusts that.
He's been caught. He's shopping. Intruder goes to the brush, resets his passive. That's a free kill for the Kazakhs.
Yeah, just standing on a ward. That's brutal. Tilted fish.
Yep, he was caught shopping. Didn't even move once the recall got
Well,
stopped.
to be fair, on the new patch, when you take damage, the shop closes.
Ah, I did not know that.
You see, you don't shop while you back, but top lane.
Imp gonna get taken down. Meanwhile, Swift picks up the kill, gets exhausted by PYL, but they're still chasing. More is going to try to provide some crowd control, but a good slow does come up from Marin to stop them. Teleport coming in from the back door. This is from Newbee. V and Dade both onto the top side of this map. LGD need to try and run, but they're cornered here. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. V's going to try and chase down Marin, so the rest of the team deals with the other man. Marin has to pop his ultimate to try and stay alive. Punish down the top side of the map. Swift actually caught out of position, gets taken down. Dark Passage is going to try and bring V to close the distance. They do trade that 1-for-1. Punish rotating to save his team.
Yep, saving Private PYL. They do manage to get one of them out of there. And best case scenario is trading 1-for-1 is Happy with the fadeaway.
Gets a lot of slowdown towards Punish. Even
Forces
hits that last crit. Does get the flash away from the Vladimir.
And that's the important thing. Obviously still a lot of safety in this lane. However, with his W up and available. Meanwhile, bot lane. So what did LGD get while all the attention from Newbee was topside? It was actually a lot of solo farm and wave control from Intruder. So Kazakhs just a little bit stronger. Not the best trade, but it's something.
If they really use the spell shield on towards Dade's W. Cheeky play. 6-6 in total kills at the moment. LGD do have 2 turrets to none though, which is a huge advantage for them, giving them a 3,000 gold lead over Newbee. They're looking strong at the moment.
They also have the TP advantage, which is far more important. It's on Marin, who's already shown that he has the perfect timing for that, especially when he gets to use it in tandem with Imp. So playing towards the bot side of the map, the Dragon will be spawning in 1 minute, but they could look to play cross-map from the objective with Marin's teleport, since V doesn't have his.
LGD could be sending Imp and PYL up into the top side of the map to deal with this wave that was pushing in towards their top lane outer turret. V, in the meantime, is actually pushing down the bottom side of the map, looking to try and clear that one out, stay as close to the Dragon as possible. That was spawned in 40 seconds. Is there an Infernal Dragon too?
They're just getting the wave pushing forward, and it's actually Swift who's going to clear it. And at the 30-second timer, you immediately see them pull their backs. It obviously takes 30 seconds to walk from base from the Dragon. So this is just kind of glimmers of old LGD, prepping the waves before going into an objective and trying to outmaneuver Newbee.
Punish still trying to push up this mid lane. He's been farming up a Storm, 150 CS almost. Dade's been doing a good job of holding the fort and farming up as equally as well. Moore's waiting the brush here with Swift. PYL might get hooked up here. Does throw in the Winter's Bite. Does get locked down though. There comes the W from Jim. PYL tries to pull the ultimate. Gets taken down by V. Subjugate there. So Newbee find a pick before the Dragon fight. But here's a teleport coming into the back line. Dade has to be a little bit careful. As Marin gonna complete that teleport but doesn't get a flank.
PYL face checks, gets burned for it, although it is just the support going down, so LGD still keen to at least stop or challenge for this Infernal.
Well, let's see how they manage to do this, because Infernal has been started by Newbee. They're still looking for the fight.
An issue is that they weren't on the same side, but they've now corrected this, and
Punish
Intruder
though.
has walked to the same side.
Punish going to get jumped on here by 3 members. Intruder now trying to jump on top of V. He's going to be the first to go down. Intruder finds a kill. Imp, though, taking a lot of damage in return from the Graves. Not enough to take him down. Now Intruder go back in. Dade, they're trying to duke him out. Gets the kill. Punish is going deep in there and finds the return kill, so it's eventually a delayed 2-for-2 trade.
But they do force them off of the Infernal Drake. That said, Dade and V don't have the teleports back up just yet, but they will be coming back up.
They're
and we're going to
still.
reset this map.
Newbee still want this Infernal Dragon, but it's a 3-on-4 at the moment.
This is risky. They can't take this. They have to back up.
They do back up. Like you said, teleports are going to be up and available for both Dade and V shortly. They've got synchronized teleport timers at the moment, and Imp actually has to go back to base, so they've got a short window of opportunity.
Well, it's Imp saying that the TPs are going to be back up. Naturally, you don't want to force the TP burn if you don't have to. So Imp is trading his back by giving Newbee their teleports. Does that make sense, Fish?
Yep, that makes sense.
Got it.
We do that successfully too. So Newbee do hold on to their teleports. So V's now up in the top, so they're not going to be split pushing there.
I feel like LGD constantly put themselves... They got it!
Ooh.
They constantly put themselves in these scenarios. A nice spectator
buffs?
is like, he got the blue buff. No, where LGD are like, gentleman's agreement, we're just going to farm till 40 minutes and then 5v5.
Infernal Dragon, though, has been started by LGD. They do a lot of damage onto the bosses, but Intruder is stuck in the split. Teleport's actually coming in. Swift looking for the steal, doesn't get it. Protocol going to be popped out. Marin going to be able to hop over the wall. LGD just pick it up cleanly and are able to get out alive.
Yeah, nothing traded. Newbee don't even get superior position on the mid lane tower. Curtain call was used, so LGD could actually look to rush down Newbee because a key ultimate is missing.
That was very clean coming out from LGD as well. Newbee really dropped the ball on that. They were split pushing the top lane, no response from Marin, don't even get a turret trade for it. Things are not looking great for them at the moment.
And they'll have a teleport disadvantage between Marn and Trundle
He's gotta be
next
careful,
time it
though.
comes up.
Dade's trying to chase him down, lands the first Q, gets the root as well. The ultimate has to come out from Marin to keep him safe. Flash forward from Dade, going for the one-on-one trade. Left with a sliver of health, gets the final auto attack, chucks the lightning into its face and takes him down.
The OGN title holders duking it out in the bot lane. Dade pulling the trigger there, seeing that he has no mana, but meanwhile mid.
Good flash coming from Happy, reacting to PYL's Winter's Bite and flash there. Still kill advantage for Newbee, but LG are just playing the map so well at the moment.
More important is the fact that Dade is bottom, and Dade is going to be your primary wave. Just siege the tower.
No. They're not going for a Frost Current.
What?
Instead, Intruder's going to be farming up wolves. Obviously more important to be taking down wolves than the mid lane out of turret.
What? Okay. Interesting. I was like, oh, their wave clear is bottom lane. They can't wave clear on this tower. It's going to be free for LG. No, wolves. I think there might have been confusion over like immediately running to Baron.
I think you underestimate the pool of wolves, Frostgurn. Intruder needs them.
I think the point goes back to like LGD are one of these weird teams where if you just sit and farm for 60 minutes, they'll totally do the same thing. They won't. How to explain it? Like, they're fine just saying 50 minutes, single team fight, we'll see you there.
So we did have more camping in that brush for quite some time. They know there's a pink ward ahead of them, so they can't show themselves anytime soon. V trying to do what he can to split push up on the top side of the map. He should be able to get this turret, or at least burn a teleport from Marin to try and save this. Dade split pushing the bottom side of the map too, so Trundle should be able to take this turret down.
Yep, no one is responding to it. Marin is resetting his position on the map, however.
Blue buff stolen by Swift there. Intruder goes in and finds that his jungle's been intruded upon as PYL going to get locked down by a hook. There goes the Deadly Flourish, not Deadly Flourish coming out from the Jin as well, but they do lock down more. He pops the box, but it's just a change of ultimates coming in left, right, and center. Mara now looking for the flank. They've got to be a little bit careful. He's going to try and go in. Happy has to take the Dark Passion to get away. Gets jumped up by Intruder. Finds the assassination. Swift now in a lot of trouble. The hook does come down on towards the Kha'Zix, but just keeps him alive a little bit longer. Swift has to keep running. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Does get assassinated there. It's a disaster coming out for Newbee as they lose 3 people.
And on an open map with a lot of room to run, the Sivir composition comes out in spades. LGD pick up the necessary pick. Swift is dead, and they turn on the Baron.
And they go straight for that. They do have Intruder on Kha'Zix, so lots of damage be dealt down on towards this Baron. But Dade has a word or two to say about this. He's trying to get to the backlines of pit. Feed now going in, puts down the pillar, looking for a fight. Dade's going to go into the Baron. Is really low. They get 1 kill into PYL, but that's it for now. Dade now the focus of the target. Going to get taken down. V forced to flash out of the pit too. They trade 1 for 1, but they lose the Baron.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's just the support that goes down, so that means that the Baron buff can be applied in all 3 lanes simultaneously. So we take a look at the replay here, and it wasn't even like Marn got a game-changing flank. It was literally just the speed and power of a Sivir composition running you down when you're caught out of position.
No, caught way out of position in that situation. Good teleport from Marn, once again utilizing the flank really well. Finding that mid lane outer turret will fall down.
I'm tilted.
And you can look at the damage dealt during that team fight. Oh, that wasn't even the team fight we saw. That was actually the Baron fight there. So Trundle and Rise getting lots of damage down, but you know, so not enough at the moment. Now Newbee have found themselves into another 7,000 gold deficit against LGD.
But if we know anything, Newbee do have the potential to come back from this, especially if you look at their composition. They've got plenty of tools. Dade is a very rich man right now.
Well, they did this last game from this exact position, 7,000 gold down against a Baroned up LGD.
Just comes to 1 team fight.
1 team fight to bring the game back, 1 team fight to end it all.
Who will prevail?
There was a ring reference in there somewhere.
The 2015 Summer LPL rematch.
It's Newbee now looking to try, LGD, sorry, looking to try and push down the bottom lane. Marin is split pushing in the middle of the map. As is Rabadon's Death Cap and Zhonya's Hourglass completed. With that Negatron Cloak for good measure too.
Continued siege. Hopefully, Newbee do not make the same mistake that LGD made in Game 1 by trying to defend that tower with their lives.
Seems like they're not going to. They're trying to defend it as much as possible.
To be fair, LGD do not have near the same creep wave built up that Newbee had last time around, but definitely giving them a lot of respect. You actually see Dade standing off in Fog of War.
Still Baron up minions. OPYO actually going very aggressive there towards V. Marin's going to come in. They lock down V. He gets taken down immediately. Dade now trying to do what he can. That was poor defense coming out from Newbee, and they're going to cost him for that one. People has to flash away from the Deadly Flourish. There goes Mara looking for another engage. Kurtzikal going to get popped, looking to try and take down PYL. Gets a shot towards to Intruder and onto Punish, but it doesn't do too much. Just inhibitor will fall, and LGD pick up the first inhibitor of the game.
Naturally, you never want to lose an inhib, although Dade might look for the counter engage.
Ooh, they've got to go back in for it. There's the ultimate coming out from Swift, dealing lots of damage to the backlines. Mara's going to get taken down first. Happy finds the kill. Swift does have a flank here. They're waiting for V to come up online. It's going to be in 13 seconds. Can potentially look for a deep teleport because there are wards in the base. They're still chasing LGD. They've got to try and run somehow. Intruder has been caught up. Swift, he's going to look for the assassination. That finds Intruder. Oh my goodness! Huge damage coming out from Intruder. Completely melts the Grace, but they're still chasing onto LGD. The teleport does come out from V. Looking to try and flank around them. They're still very low health bars. The Trundle going to get around just in time. Puts down the first of the day. Gets the pillar down as well. Trying to fight 3-on-1 for now. Deadly Flourish comes out. PYL will be the first to fall down. Punish. Pops the Ghost, gets hooked, great hook from Thor, but it's not going to be enough. He goes into the Sanguine Ball on top of Happy, deals lots of damage. Imp is back in this fight, trying to get ricochets in the back lines, but they separated themselves enough. They're going to be able to run. Deadly Flourish gets blocked by Imp there. Newbee, oh my goodness, Impy's going on from the top, gonna get taken down, finds a single kill for it. That was so aggressive. Now teleports are coming in from LGD's side of the map.
Where's my Benny Hill theme song? This is... That's nuts. First and foremost, props to Intruder. That was crazy. Very cheeky, very cute, and what a great way to enter the LPL for this guy. The sub LGD jungler coming in, styling on Swift, flashes over that wall and just punches him right in the teeth.
Now they got 2 Infernal Dragons on top of that too. LGD 7,000 golden lead, 2 Infernal Dragons. They got the inhibitor on the top of that too.
So all things said and done, LGD still riding very high very much in control, managed to get the bottom inhibitor, which they can pressure against the next time Baron spawns, as well as that double Infernal. So great place for them to be. Again, Newbee showing that there's still some fight left. Definitely willing to chase across the entire map, but unfortunately any of the kills they did manage to pick up in response for that didn't translate into anything because they were so deep within their own base.
Imp still doing Imp things as well, but here comes another flank. Happy is just caught too far out, tries to flash for the Dark Passage.
He flashed into effectively a frozen tomb.
Well, that was a disaster to watch.
Just Marn's waiting open arms.
Not great, as they do lose their AD carry again. Marn, really good flanks coming out for LGD this game.
Yeah, really showing the power of the Lissandra pick. Won his 1v1 matchup. You know, LGD, we said, if you give them standard lanes, they will abuse it. Again, props to Intruder as well, setting Marn up for success early and just letting the MVP of 2015 Worlds showcase his true talent.
He's been playing well, and he always does when he picks up Lissandra. There are a few really good games on him in Spring Split.
I don't think I've really ever seen Marn not play well. Even when the tools around him have completely rusted over and fallen apart and are failing, he's still, you know, getting the nail into the board.
Just taking stock of things. Still Newbee, 7,000 gold behind.
You don't
they
like
were
my
last
hammer
game.
analogy?
I do.
Who's the hammer fish?
Marn's the hammer. Who are the nails though? That's what I want to know.
Have you met the jungler? I don't care if Intruder loses this game or not. That's on the highlight reel. He was on a pink ward and everything.
Ooh. Turns around and just bops him. Dardaeus uses teleport defensively to get away from trouble.
The deep, deep reach around there from LGD.
They don't even get there in time.
They forced a teleport. That's really worth. It's a long cooldown. That's important.
Could have just recalled.
They did that by walking. They didn't even have to kill him. That's the power of walking.
It's the power of what the flanks have done to them all game. Swift now trying to deny as much vision as possible over this Baron pick. Gets the Dark Passage. Still gets it. He teleports, you know. It's a new skill that Graves has.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was that Rise patch.
I didn't think Graves was Rise.
It was a big TP distance, too. Okay, Dragon's down. Baron's coming up in 10 seconds. The thing that you're watching on your map right now is Newbee really have to respect the incoming super creep waves on the bottom side. They don't have Dade's teleport anymore, but they still have V, so we'll see if LGD are patient enough to just, as I say that, they're actually setting for a flank trap on mid.
Not again.
Never mind, scratch that. They're not being patient about TP play. They just want to kill someone.
There's a ward being placed down there. Baron will be able to clear it out because there was being placed down by him earlier. So does have the clean vision. We'll know if he can go for that fight.
Newbee don't have any of their blue trinkets up and available. Unfortunately, this pink ward is set too shallow that it doesn't catch the ward in the back, but good job from Intruder. This guy. I'm feeling...
I give that one... I say that one's lucky.
He's sitting next to a pink ward. He's like instinctively placing that to check the back behind the pit. Like, it'd be one thing if there wasn't a pink ward in that bush that he's sitting in, but the go-ahead...
They've started this. Pings are coming out. It's already down to 4,000 health, though. This should be LGD's Baron coming out here, unless Swift goes in for the steal. Doesn't get it. Intruder finds it. V's actually going to teleport in, but Punish already in the back lines. This might be lights out for Newbee as they're still chasing down. The ultimate's being burnt. Punish is on top of Happy. Has to heal to try and run away, but he's slowed down by that Rade so much. Punish is going to be able to take it down one-on-one. Happy falls. Newbee just lose their core members. And LGD is just going to march towards the base now.
And they have a pretty sizable creep wave behind them. So they can do a lot of damage here, including take 2 inhibs, if not in the game, if Newbee don't play this perfectly.
Well, they want to try and end the game right here. They're positioning for it quite nicely, too. Moore's going to get taken down in the meantime by Mara, but here comes Intruder jumping on top of Dade. Takes a lot of damage in return. V going to have to flash away to get to safety. Teleports are coming in from Marin to try and end this game for LGD. They're going to be able to do just that. LGD take the series to Newbee. So they're working on the Nexus turret. They take down Dade in the meantime. V valiantly trying to defend, but it's not going to be enough. The series is now tied up 1-1.
LGD change up their composition for game 2. They look for the Venn diagram of murder, the 5v5 comp, some Vladimir, some Lissandra, some Sivir AoE.
A bit of everything coming in there.
Yeah, a bit of, it's a a smattering, if you will, taste testing, and they just smash Newbee, looking much stronger, especially with their new jungler taking the Rift and Intruder.
They certainly did. I think he's the talking point of the highlight of that match. He played really well to start the game off, and he had a few highlight plays in that game.
Yeah, definitely outplaying Swift a couple of times, and unfortunately for Newbee, they just lost control over their objectives in particular. Big 2 Baron plays LGD should not have gotten their hands on.
On top of that, Marin was really good on this Lissandra, kept finding those teleport flank plays, and it all started with the teleports down to the bottom side of the map.
But Marn was set up for success by Intruder, so finally LGD's jungler recognizing the power in the top laner and setting himself up for it.
Punish as well got his hands on Vladimir this game. They risky draft coming out from LGD. Leaves Ryze and Vladimir open, and LGD, they choose to take the Vladimir and do really well with that champion.
And you have to think that that's going to be the next thing really adjusted and recognized in the draft phase, that Punish shouldn't get a champion like that again. Typically, people will ban the Vladimir but leave the Ryze open. I think it was a bit questionable to look for the 3rd ban on Rek'Sai, especially because both junglers, although we don't really know about Intruder.
And this was a big highlight play coming out from Intruder. Swift was waiting for him to try and assassinate him, not happening.
I was going to say, because both junglers didn't really pick Rek'Sai. So, ban the Vladimir. But yeah. Nice play. Good welcome to Intruder. I think he finished it 7-1 and something.
This is where Newbee, to try to look for that very long extended chase and flank after their inhibitor was taken down. They get a lot of kills. Imp just goes completely man mode here as well, though, and takes a lot of them down.
This fight lasts for so long.
He flashes the fat part of the wall as well here, Imp.
But the thing is nothing is gained out of it for Newbee. They just pick up the
Bang.
pocket gold, but LGD get the bottom inhibitor as well as another Infernal Drake out of that. So yeah, it looks good for Newbee in small windows, but for the majority of that, it's LGD just gaining so much ground.
It felt like Newbee had the possibility to try and come back in the game. It was the same as game 1 with those 7,000 gold ahead of Baron behind, just couldn't do it this game.
Yeah, it really goes back to LGD being far more patient. Again, they were, setting up those traps, Marn being much more proactive, being put in a situation where he could impact the map, use his teleport correctly, and I think it was much cleaner played from LGD. It wasn't just Newbee making mistakes, it was LGD being proactive and setting things up and executing on it.
Well, with that, LGD tie up the series 1-1. We're going to go into a very quick break. I'll be back with game number 3. Don't go anywhere.